Tuve's up against Chapman in the ninth and a swinging strike. We'll keep you posted. Here's Mike in California. He's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Michael, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
Hey, Chris. I think some of this Astros bullpen stuff might be a blessing in disguise. I think they won't be able to rationalize anymore that they don't need a closer. And you got a guy like Zach Britton. Orioles are going to have to trade him. They were close to getting him last year. I feel like that's a natural fit.
I think you're right. No, they have to have – Britton's going to have to come back and pitch a little bit. He's got a torn Achilles, Junie's return date. And it's 0-2 to Altuve. They have 100-mile-an-hour fastball. The Astros, they got away with it last year. They got away with it, partly because Jansen spit up 2 games. They got away with it. I don't know if they can expect to get away with it again. They need somebody in that ninth inning. They have lost. I know the first game was 0-0 when he gave up the homer to Sanchez, but they have lost 2 games at home in the ninth inning to this Yankee team. They're going to have to do something about this. There's no question about it. Go ahead. Next.
Can you make a case they can use McCullers in the ninth inning in the postseason? Now they had 5 starters. Last year they only had 4, with the addition of Cole. So you could just make McCullers the closer in the postseason?
I don't think they're going to do that. I guess you could make that case, but I don't think they're going to do that. Strikes out Altuve. Torres and De Gregorius do a dance at second base. This is a hell of a series for the Yankees. This was a tremendous series for New York. Give them credit. 3 out of 4. 0-0 Verlander on Tuesday night. And then the comeback today after they blew a 3-0 lead. This was a tremendous gut check by the Yankees today. I tell you right now, the Yankees are a hell of a team. I don't think they have great starting pitching. I do think they're going to need another starter. I think Severino's excellent. Tanaka's pretty good. I think after that, Montgomery, Gray, when Montgomery comes back, and of course Sabathia, they have some issues 3, 4, 5. But the Yankees have a big closer. They got a good bullpen. They don't stop hitting. They catch the ball. I mean, this Yankee team's a hell of a team. And this was a tremendous series for the Yankees. There's no way around it. They walked into Houston. How about the Yankee road trip? They went to Anaheim and swept them, and they walked into Houston and beat them 3 out of 4. And this is a little. I'll tell you, A.J. Hinch should be a good spot now. I want to hear some sound. Can you get that before we get off the air at 6 o'clock? Because this is a bad loss. This is a bad week for the Astros. This is the first bad sign the Astros have had since Game 7 of last year's World Series. We'll keep an eye on it. Here's Eric in Long Island, New York. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Eric, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
I'm doing good, dog. Listen, with the NHL, I want to get to 2 series in particular, the Capitals and Nashville. I'll start with Nashville. I mean, I've been down on Pecorini, dog. You go back to the Cup Finals last year.
Did not play well. Did not play well.
Especially on the road, dog. I mean, this guy's save percentage is less than 900. I mean, they spot him a 3-0 lead the other night, and they can't hold the fort down, And all you hear about with the pundits is the Nashville defense being top to bottom, 1 through 6, the best in the league. Well, you know what? They haven't played up to their capabilities either. And I'll just say this, dog. When is Nashville going to have another multiple-goal lead in a game in this series? The fact that they couldn't hold a 3-0 lead, I think they're in tremendous trouble. I told you back in January, I thought they were the team to win it. But going into the series, I like what I've seen out of Winnipeg all playoff long. I just don't see Nashville winning a game in that building with that atmosphere, with those fans basically being on top of you. I think Nashville's going down in 6 games in this series, and that's if they can win Game 5 at home. But there's no guarantee that. I think this is a very short series with Winnipeg.
I think Winnipeg's got too much firepower for them. I completely agree. Go ahead, next.
And as far as the Capitals go, dog, listen, let's give this team some credit. I know they're only halfway home here against Pittsburgh. They showed some resiliency in the Columbus series.
They sure did.
Listen, they lose Game 1 to Pittsburgh at home. They blow the 2-0 lead in the third period. No Malkin, no Hagelin that game. But them to come back with 2 victories in a row, especially in Game 3, trailing 3-2 in the third. I mean, Ovechkin getting the game winner. This might be the Alex Ovechkin coming out party as far as the playoffs. And I'll say this, if they get by Pittsburgh, I mean, I think they're playing with house money from then on then. I don't think this team needs to win a Stanley Cup. I think they just need to get past this round and make some noise up against Tampa, which right now, if you ask me, dog, if I had a handicap the playoffs halfway through, I think you're on a collision course from what I've seen, a Tampa and Winnipeg going head-to-head, which would be a tremendous 7-game series.
Nah, boy, Eric's on top of it. I don't know if Washington would have a lot of momentum in that Tampa series. I do think the winner of this Winnipeg-Nashville series will get to the Cup final. I've said that for a long time now. John in Baltimore, Mad Dog Unleashed. Johnny, welcome. Your turn. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Chris. Speaking about great announcing teams, I went back on YouTube and watched a bunch of old NFL games. And I tell you, I think Kirk Gowdy, now DeRogatis, might be one of the best ever. Your thoughts?
No, I love them. I mean, that's who I began my sports career with. I mean, is those guys as far as a fan goes. They were doing games late 60s, early 70s. They were doing all AFL games, and the AFL in that period was blossoming. Namath, the 69 Chiefs beating the Colts in the Super Bowl. Obviously all those Raider teams out in Oakland, Alameda. A lot of offense in Miami with unbeaten teams. I mean, the AFL in the period between 69, once the Jets won, and right up until the mid to late 70s was dominant. Pittsburgh, they all won a Super Bowl. Pittsburgh won 4. Raiders won a Super Bowl. Chiefs won 1. Jets won 1. Miami won a couple. I mean, that period there of the AFL was superb, and the voice of the AFL in that period was DeRogatis and Gowdy. So, and those old Raider games at 4 o'clock in the afternoon against Kansas City, the Jets, Pittsburgh, Miami, those are all-time classic games. And again, it's DeRogatis. The CBS didn't have those great games then. Brookshire, the Green Bay was done. Their run was over. The Giants were bad. They didn't, they had the Redskins and Cowboys, okay. But the AFL was much more of a dynamic league 40 years ago in that 6 to 7 year window. Pittsburgh was getting good. OJ was in the AFL. The Raiders were the Raiders. Shula in Miami. Namath with the Jets. Kansas City was excellent. Stram with the microphone at the Super Bowl. And that was a fun group of teams. And it was DeRogatis and Gowdy. So I'm with you 100%. Go ahead. What else?
One other thing. There's a book coming out October 1st that I think you're going to be interested in. The name escapes me, but it's about the relationship of John Unitas and Don Shula. And the author goes back and interviews all of his teammates, or a lot of his teammates and coaches. And it's getting a lot of good press.
What's it? Who wrote it?
Gilden. Jack Gilden is the guy's name. I can't think of the name of it, but it'll be out October 1st.
Yeah, I will be into that. Shula and Unitas never got along. Shula, Eubank and Unitas were good buddies. Unitas was difficult. And Shula's a young coach, and Unitas gave Shula a hard time. Wanted to call his own plays, that kind of stuff. And Shula came from the Paul Brown crew, who used the guards to call the plays. The guards coming in and out with the play calls. So that was a rough spot. I remember I've read many a time about how Unitas gave Shula a hard time a game in Cleveland one year, and Gino Marchetti had to say, "John, you're wrong. Let Don do the job as his head coach." So fascinating. We look for that. Do you see that book up there, Eddie? I'll be interested to see that. Here's Chad in Canada. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Chad, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
I'm a happy Falcons fan, I'll say that much.
You're happy. Okay, very good.
Yeah, you don't appreciate the situation that you're in with a solid starting quarterback until you see what all these teams have fought and struggled through during the time leading up to the draft. And I think, obviously, the number for a quarterback is going to continue to climb in that price. So I thought that he was going to be a $32, $33 million a year guy, but to come in at 30 over 5 is the right number, I think.
I don't think he's worth it, Chad, but I had to pay him. So that I agree. I don't think it's worth it. He's not the best. But again, if you're a quarterback and you become a free agent at the right time and your contract's up, you can take advantage of it. Boy, I tell you. Leave it to me to open myself up, and does he get the last laugh? And now we have some issues with the family. We'll get that straightened out as well. But boy, is he excited. He's on his way to Indianapolis, Bloomington. The lovely Alex graduating from IU, cum de laude. What is it? I know she got great grades. Is it cum laude? Is that how you pronounce it? Whatever the case might be.
I'll let you drown on your own.
She is going to go work for Rob Manfred and the MLB. Manfred specifically picked her out. Not of a lineup either. Picked her out. He had the resumes in front of him. There was about 25,000 candidates who graduated from college. And Rob decided, and I didn't call. Rob decided to take Alex. So he's going to work hand in hand with she's going to work hand in hand with the commissioner. She's the head of Courtney and Petiti.
Yeah.
She's going to do everything now.
That seems logical.
And she now, of course, is the is graduating today, and so that's number one, or Saturday, I should say. And then number two, I killed Steve on his Yankees. He was upset, walked out of here in a funk, and then the Yankees get back and nail me with that Astro bullpen.
I said to myself,
Chris, when we last left you, should we just in case anyone's just joining us now?
The Astros build runs with their athleticism and their speed and their acumen. Well, the Yankees got to club you to death.
Thank goodness for that. Yeah, they clubbed you to death after they threw 28 scoreless innings. But that's all they do, though. All they do is hit home runs. You have no leg to stand on.
And remember, the Astros...
Just keep quiet. Go eat your nachos while you're on the air.
And the Astros are the American League champs and the World Series champs. And
there's another smoker.
And the Yankees, of course, are a team that is that overpays for players, and they're trying to get to where the Astros have been.
Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier. And what happened?
And the Yankees came back. What a series the Yankees had. You got to be happy, no?
Well, what do you think?
Delighted. This is a hell of a win you had today. And the Astros have to fix this bullpen. You cannot expect this to happen again next in the offseason.
I thought you said it didn't matter when Verlander just pitches. He'll go till his arm falls off.
It didn't matter the other day because that was a postseason game. But listen, let's be fair, Steve. If it wasn't for Jansen, the Astros would have lost the World Series, and they would have been destroyed because of their bullpen, which hurt them in Game 2 and everything else.
Yeah.
They have to go get themselves a bullpen guy.
I don't know who that is.
Well, Zach Britton.
Gonna trust him?
Comes back in June.
He's coming off an injury?
Well, it's Achilles. It's not an arm.
Still.
He's great, Steve. You know that.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. Now, you don't want lefties against the Yankees. You want righties because the Yankees are a right-hand hitting team, with Sanchez. And I know you put them in a situation with Gardner and Didi and everything else. But they're Andujar, the shortstop, Sanchez, Stanton, Judge. They're a right-hand hitting team. So you want lefties. You don't want a lefty to close. But that's a tremendous job of the Yankees today. You got to be proud.
I'm thrilled. It's a hell of a series. Made a little statement.
They sure did. I want to get A.J. Hinch sound. Can you find that for me, please? See if that cracked loose there.
Yes, well, because they've been doing, on the post game, they've been having Hinch as part of the post game, which they don't always do with the opposing manager.
But this time
they have in this series, so they will probably run it. Now, you might have to be patient. I don't know if it'll happen before you go off the air at 6 o'clock, but they should do it. They've done it the last few nights.
And I have been informed Tom is going to Indianapolis, so that makes me feel better. So Tom, the granddad, will join the other granddad. Both granddads are in Indianapolis now?
What?
Tom's going now, right?
Yeah, well, it could be anything you want it to be.
Is he going, yes or no?
I don't even know why are we having this discussion?
Because it's a family thing. It's a kumbaya. It's your daughter graduating from college. You and I have been buddies for 40 years, and this is our first child. Hopefully Timmy down the road. This is our first child, so I can knock everybody. This is our first, and after his economics test today, who knows? But this is our first child between us, and that's a total of 7 who is graduating from college. It's a big moment for the Torrey family. And I just want to make sure everybody's there.
Yes, everybody will be there.
Okay, that's what I know.
Yeah, one way or another.
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
What's about that? Boy, you are you think you'd be happy. Your Yankees won. You're off Friday. You're off Monday. You're going to Indianapolis to see your daughter. She got a job with Manfred. What's the problem with you? You got to be so cranky all the time?
All the time?
Can you have a smile on your face once in a while? And be happy you're alive?
Happy I'm alive?
And having the chance to work with me?
Yeah. That's I must have lost my vision with that whole thing.
Please.
You're right.
Important. Here's Steve Sports Bite, Mad Dog on me.
Mad Dog Sports